Let's talk about adding a mobile app to your business. Hi, I'm Janet Slack of Life Adventure Coaching and Solopreneur.biz. I'm glad to be talking with you today at the Advanced Business Moves event with Andrea Lee. Andrea may have already shared with you that I'm in the process of adding a mobile app to my business right now, and it's really exciting for me. My app is called Kapow. That stands for Confidence and the Power of Women, and it will be available in the App Store on May 29th. In the spirit of our community, I'm going to share with you the inside story on the process of adding the app to my business and give you what you need to know to consider if a mobile app could be a good move for your business. So let's jump right in. I want to clarify exactly what an app is. It's a software application designed for smartphones, tablets, and other mobile devices that has been built on a mobile operating system such as iOS, Android, BlackBerry, or Windows. There are so many reasons that I could tell you why you might want to start thinking about mobile marketing and adding an app for your business, but I'm going to try an experiment. Raise your hand, please, and leave it up if you have a smartphone or a tablet with you today. And I want everyone to just take a moment and look around the room with your marketing mind. This is one powerful opportunity for your business to get in front of a lot of people quickly and easily. So thank you, everybody. You can put your hands down if you haven't already done that. There are many statistics telling us that mobile marketing is the trend for marketing. But since I'm doing a capsule version of this talk, I'm going to give you one statistic. And here's the one I want you to know. 91% of all U.S. citizens have their mobile device within their reach 24/7. Okay? What we know is that mobile marketing is here to stay, and your consumers are using it virtually every day of their lives. Mobile device use is trending up, and computer use is trending down. Apps will matter more and more in your business over time. So let's talk about how an app could be useful to you and your business. An app makes you and your business more accessible to consumers. They can carry a piece of your business literally with them wherever they go. The goal of an app is to be used repeatedly. This type of frequent use helps you reinforce your brand, and it builds loyalty among your customers. Apps are very popular and they're very sought out. This gives you the opportunity to be found by new markets that you have not previously had connections in. Using an app combines your marketing message with interactive content. That combination allows the reach of your message to be carried further than it would be without the interactive piece. Your app can also give you opportunities for sales, both from upsell opportunities within your own business and through cross sales with other businesses. And studying the popularity of your app and the usage and the growth of it can give you valuable new insights into your target market. And the benefit that may matter most is that your app becomes a tool for building stronger relationships with your customers and prospects. It will up the engagement that you have with them. So let me give you the bottom line on benefits. When you have something to share that will keep users coming back to your app, you have a real possibility to gain many of the benefits I just mentioned. What I want to suggest to you is that you carefully weigh those benefits and the cost to your business. And when you do that analysis, don't forget those more intangible benefits like relationships. Now, adding an app is a big project for a small business. And for most of us, it's a completely new area. So I want to take a look at the overall work that's needed to make a successful app. These are the top 5 areas of work that must be covered in the creation of your app. You or someone on your team is going to need to be skilled in each of these areas. I'm going to talk about them each briefly, and as I do so, I'm going to use my app, Kapow, as our example. So at the core of your app is your creative idea. And your first consideration is the purpose of the app for the user. So Kapow started as a coaching process that my partner and I developed. And the essence of our app is the 3 simple steps that help you to build your confidence. Our process is based on our studies of neuroscience and positive psychology. And because we really wanted to get our method and our message out to the world more, we decided to go the route of an app. You take your great idea and you make sure it's adaptable to the format of an app. Our format is that of a coaching app rather than a game or a directory or any of the other types of apps that you might decide to use. The second area of work is the flow of the app itself. The flow is related to usability, organization, and travel through the sections of the app. And here's some screenshots from Kapow. And I want you to think about flow because it's so hugely important. Because you want to have happy users of your app who tell their friends about it and rate it as highly as they possibly can. So when you create the flow of the app, you're going to be making diagrams and very detailed planning of every single screen that shows up and how it relates to the other screens. You can see on these screenshots the details of how the pages link to each other. So especially look at the tops and bottoms of each screen where that is happening. We did the work of the flow of the app ourselves, and our designer was great and gave us input on this, and he actually made some significant changes in flow that really improved it. What you're always looking for with the flow is what users might want to do at any point. I really don't want to understate the importance of the flow. For example, Kapow has more than 200 individual screens that someone had to plan all the possible routes through. So that's the flow. Graphic design is the third area of work that needs attention. And it's obviously the details of what every single screen looks like and every element of every screen. So this screenshot is one of our early versions of our graphic design. And hopefully when you compare it to what you saw on the previous slide, you can see that we made some significant changes in appearance and streamlining our look. And that's the process that your graphic design will go through. Now, work area number 4 is coding. You remember I told you that your app is actually a software application? That means someone has to write all the computer code that makes your app do what it's supposed to do. The person that does your software coding is usually called your app developer. Some developers only write code. Others help with the flow and the graphics as well. You really want to look for someone that will help you maintain and update your app too after its release date. So we'll talk more about what to look for in your developer in a few moments. What I want to talk about next, though, is the fifth important task for making your app successful, and obviously that's going to be marketing. Although I could probably do an entire day-long workshop on that topic, on marketing your app, we're going to hit some really important highlights really quickly. The first thing is make sure you start your planning for your app as soon as you start development. There is no too early on this. You want to be sure that you have the marketing ball rolling. Don't forget as well to include the marketing expenses when you're doing your budgeting for your app. Now, because you're creating a cutting edge product with an app, you'll want to use cutting edge marketing, and that means video. We are creating 2 videos for Kapow, including one that's being produced by our own Wealthy Thought Leader community member, Taya Godfrey. So I want to give a shout out and a thank you to Taya for that. We are thrilled with her. You definitely want to put up a website for your app far in advance of launching it. This website gives you a piece of real estate to direct people to, and it helps you create buzz about the app because you can start talking about it and send people there. On the web page, you'll have screenshots. You'll have information about the app there. You'll have your video when it's ready. And the page allows you to collect contact information for people who want notification when your app is released. Now, I already mentioned launch, and you will probably want to orchestrate an actual launch for your app because that maximizes the attention it receives, and it gives you the possibility of a viral reach when you have many downloads of the app in a short period of time. Now, if you aren't interested in a big launch, you can also do a rolling launch, and that's what you will see with Kapow over the next several months. In either case, make sure you do a lot of the planning of your marketing tasks and the launch out very carefully. And include thinking about reviews and ratings. They are hugely important in marketing an app. Be sure you set them up ahead of time. Have people willing to make ratings for you in the App Store. Solicit reviews of your app from the app review sites, from journalists, bloggers, from end users. So there's the highlights of marketing. Again, here are your 5 areas of work to cover as you build your app. Now let's talk about app developers. The success of this entire project could rest on finding the best fit for you with a developer. So here's the criteria I used to start my developer search. I want to tell you a brief story about this called The Naysayer, the Cookie Cutter, and the High-End Dude. So we searched for developers in a lot of places, and we came up with our list and we narrowed it down to the top 3 people that we wanted to talk to. And the first person we talked to didn't think our app was relevant. She didn't think it would work. She didn't think people would be interested. And she didn't think we had the type of business that could benefit from an app. My reaction at the time was simply, yikes. Today, I call her the naysayer. So we moved on and talked to our second developer, and he had loads of technical questions for us. He wanted to tell us about apps he had already made that were just exactly like our unique creation, and he was decidedly uninterested in the details of what we wanted. Yeah, our precious brainchild was being formed into a cookie cutter mold. So, app developer number 3, when we talked to him, he was really personable and he was knowledgeable technically. But he didn't seem to understand our audience of women, and his price turned out so high that we call him the high-end dude. He quoted 3 times what we eventually paid for our developer. So this story could come to an unhappy ending, except I can be incredibly stubborn, and I didn't give up. I learned a lot from those first 3 conversations. And so here's my amended list of criteria that I would encourage you to look for in your app developer. And I listed understanding first because that person really needs to be willing to take the time to understand you and your business and your vision and your market. Now, the fairy tale ending to my little story is we started over and persistence paid off, and we found the perfect app developer for us. He's smart, talented, and he has deep connections in the coaching community. We knew he was right on the very first conversation. He asked us a lot of questions about our goals, and he listened really carefully to what was important to us. Now, I want to share with you what I've learned about keeping the costs down on what can be an expensive project. Here are the top 3 tips for cutting expenses. The more bells and whistles your app has, the more it's going to cost. Be willing to give up features that aren't central to the core focus for your app. For example, I had really wanted our app to include the feature of shaking your phone to get a random choice. You've probably seen that in certain apps. In the end, that feature came out of the picture because it was really just a gimmick for us, and we could achieve that same effect using a simple random button at a whole lot less cost. Now, you can also lower costs by limiting your initial app to just one platform, such as iPhone or Android, and one distribution outlet, such as the App Store or the Android Store. The second advantage of doing it this way is that you can get any bugs fixed quickly at the outset when you launch, and you can manage the feedback that you're getting a lot more easily. And of course, you can save money by doing as many of the 5 basic tasks as you can and do them yourself. Just remember, the more that you do this yourself, the longer the project's going to take. And apps are a lot of work. I've already given you a boatload of information in just a few minutes, so I'm going to break it down for you in a wrap-up. Here are the first 3 steps to get started towards having your own app. The first one is find your own why. What is the idea that you want to bring to the world? And how will that play out in the form of an app? Once you know that, it's time to start learning. Who is doing what with apps? What are people saying about different apps? Look at the number of downloads, the number of comments, what kind of ratings apps get. But also go deeper than just reading reviews about apps. I want you to get out there and play with a whole lot of apps. Look for their strengths and weaknesses. What do you like? What do you not like? Is the app easy to download? Is it easy to use? Why or why not? Is it a free app or paid? If it's paid, do you get your value? And you're looking for the gap that your idea could fill, or look for the way that you could expand what's already available in a new way. Okay, and now, step 3, it's time to make some decisions. You need to decide where the app fits in your business model and your marketing plan. You need to decide whether it will be paid or free. You need to decide which of the areas of work you can handle yourself. Once you know those items, you'll be better able to determine the time and dollar costs of your new app. And then you're on a roll towards having your own app. That's what we have for you today. Here's my email address if I can help you in any way. And if you're interested in Kapow, here's the website where you can learn more and sign up to be notified as soon as it hits the App Store. Now, one last thing, if you would please. Turn around and wave at me on the simulcast. I'm watching y'all. And know that I'm sending you lots of love. And be sure to let me know if you have an app in the App Store someday.